All right. It is 7:30-ish on a Sunday night. I mean, once again, it's time for edition of Live in the Man Cave with Polk. We are your number one source for high school basketball in the state of Florida. I am Coach Barnes. We got the All-State coach. What's going on with you, sir?
What's up, Coach? Happy Sunday.
Hey, same to you, sir. And we are missing the All-State PG. All-State PG had had a kind of prior engagement, so he probably will not be on tonight. But the show must go on, so we will tap in and we'll miss him, but we'll try to make up the production, which that's one of our tonight. How is next man up production and all that stuff? So that's a segue later on. So we don't have the PG, but we do have the All State coach. So, coach, not sure if you have anything in your coach's corner. If you do, you got it, sir.
Well, Coach, I know we got some stuff to talk about, so I'm gonna try to steer away from that. Coach, it's the end of the summer, right? It's the end of the summer. What advice do you have for coaches and players now at this point?
Um, I think it depends. I think it's kind of two parts. If you've been at it all summer, like you've been going to camps, you've been on the road, you've been in the gym, I think a little bit of a break is warranted, especially with the school year about to start up and things about to, summer's over, so it's about to be into the flow, going to school, going to class, that kind of stuff. So if you've been working, I would say give yourself not a long break, but just a little break, just a little time to refresh, maybe a weekend, a week, whatever, your time period is. Because if you're not at your best, you can't be your best for your program. So I think you got to kind of step away from it and recharge just for a little bit. Some people that may be longer, some people that may be shorter. But if you have not been working, then I think you need to be working because you got some catching up to do, right? So if you have been working, I would say the first thing to do is to take some time for yourself. And I know you talk about it. I'm not sure if everybody does this, but I think the whole end of the summer kind of um, I don't want to say interviews, but where you kind of check in with your team, and and as a whole with your coaching staff. First of all, like, okay, this is what. Hopefully, you set some goals before the summer. This is what we want to do. Like I spoke with McGriff, and we did all of us spoke with McGriff off the air about the goals that he had for the summer, and not to go into details what his goals were, but he had three or four of them, and they accomplished all three or four of them. So set some goals before the summer, and then now the summer's over with, how do we do? How do we do with these goals? And then actually speak with your players from an individual level, because what we're learning about players is if you stop talking to them even for a second,
Somebody
you might
talking
not.
to him.
Somebody, if you ain't talking, somebody is. So you gotta make sure you keep that connection. I spoke with a coach earlier today, and he texted. His thing was, I'm just gonna read you what he said. I'm gonna read you what he said on the text. Um, he said, he said, working to keep the ones he has. He said, that's all I focus on, coach. If something walked through the doors first day, let's rock. That's the prayer. Other than that, I just try to keep what I got. And so, and I said to him, times have changed where you gotta do that. So if you're asking me what would I do right now, if I've been at it all week, all summer, I'm gonna take a little time off, not a lot, and then look at the goals that we set, tap in with my players, and set up how the fall is gonna look. But that's how I will close out the summer.
Okay. Next thing, Teddy Bridgewater, Coach. I think Gainesville fumbled this one.
Oh
They
man,
they fumbled this one, Coach. So I want to get your thoughts on the Teddy Bridgewater situation. Because, coach, if you suspend him, coach, you got to suspend every football coach, basketball coach, lacrosse, soccer. You got to suspend
You gotta,
everybody.
you gotta. First of all, I really think that rule is an antique rule that I think I think they're not gonna have any choice because this is so viral and this is not just Florida or Dade County. This is like nationwide.
Yeah, I don't see them talk about it.
Yeah, so you got to do something now because now it's so much spotlight on it that you got it. So they're gonna have to change or amend how that rule is set. But to your point, I think they totally fumbled the ball because we're in the kid business. We're here to help kids. He uses money to help his kids. Like what else are we supposed to do at the core? At the end of the day, at the core of it, we're in the kid business, and we all, like you say, all of us help kids. Coach, if we're the Lakeland Fire, when we're in the kid business, and the reality is most of the kids that come to us need help. There are certain cases where they don't. In our situation, like you say, we're not in these affluent areas where you got trust fund kids and you got we just that's just not our reality, and that's not his reality. So he has the means to do it, and he did it, and he got punished for doing it, and so now it's impermissible benefits and it's this and that. And from what I understand, from what I understand, I guess the first academy got got
Yeah,
caught with it the last year, so they the ones that said something. They turned them in and they said something about him doing it. I just think it's a stupid rule, for lack of a better way of putting it. And I agree with you. They totally dropped the ball because if we're not in the kid business, we're not here to help. If I see a kid needs help and I'm in a position to help them, is the kid supposed to go without, do without because of this rule? And I guess at the end of the day, his quote, him talking about it, I guess is what they're saying. It's the whole unwritten rule. Everybody doing it, but the fact that he said he was doing it, which is a cop out to me. That's so now we going further down the rabbit hole with it.
yeah.
But I think it has to be some type of, because what's the difference between him doing it as the coach and Uncle Luke doing it in the stands? They neither one of them work for the school. They're not employed by Miami Northwestern or Dade County Public Schools. So it's like, and that's the other thing. Like he's not even an employee, as he said. I'm not even an employee. So how y'all investigating me and I volunteer? So, but then you got some people, and there were some people here local that got some strong opinions about it, which to me was kind of comical because we know that some local schools do it. Like you say, coach, everybody does it. It's just, I mean, if we're being real with it, everybody does it. Now, the level that you do it at could vary from school to school, from address to address, but everybody. If I take a kid home and and they hungry and I buy them McDonald's, technically I violated that rule. It's a stupid rule, coach. So the kid is hungry, and I know the kid hungry. We don't get home to by law. Hell, after a game, if when we used to go to, when I coached at Lakeland, we used to have to go to Sarasota on a Tuesday night. Like, wasn't even scheduled them on Friday. We got to go on a school night. We on a charter bus. The game ain't over with. Or we go down to Sebring. Game ain't over with at like 10 something. Kids don't get home to midnight. We not supposed to feed them. So by that logic, we was violating rules too. It's just that's probably the stupidest rule I've ever seen in a long time. And Florida, we famous for stupid rules when it
Hmm.
comes to sports. Unfortunately,
Like I said, coach, every coach at some point has taken the kid home. What we supposed to do? Leave the kid at the school? Like what we supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? I remember I had a kid. He called me that morning. We were supposed to go to UF camp. I think it was the Gators camp. It might have been Florida State, one of them. And he was like, "Coach, I can't go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have the money to eat with. You know what I'm saying? But that's the whole point of fundraising, donations, things of that nature. Like, man, get in the car. We got to get better. You know what I'm saying? And it was one of my kids that don't even make it out of Lake Wells if it's not for basketball. So what are we supposed to do? Like that's just unrealistic. Like you said, we in the kid business. You know what I'm saying?
And the sad thing is the people that's making them laws, they're not in the kid business. So you're making laws and decisions about kids when you don't have any connection. You ain't been in the school system like that. And because there's no way that you walk the hallway. There's no way that you went to a basketball or a football game or a tennis game or plug in any activity, a concert, orchestra. It ain't even got to be sports. There's no way that you're in the kid business. You've been in a school and seen it and felt it and worked with these kids and understand what half of them go through, probably more than half. And then you stand on a rule like that. There's no way nobody. To me, no, and that's why I say it's an old rule that needs to be rewritten. I'm not saying they ain't gonna get rid of it, but it needs to be modernized because it's way out of touch.
And Coach Bridgewater was one of those kids. He went to Northwestern. Him and Amari Cooper was on that state championship team that they had. You know what I'm saying? So he's sympathized and he has a connection with his community. That was him. You know what I'm saying? So
With his community, that's like the jitterbugs going. That came to like you said came to watch him play. He played with his brothers. Now I'm coaching you. He probably half them uncle, basically how they grew up. So I'm not, and I know what it is, and I'm not supposed to help, and I can help.
And you can help.
And so this is another thing, Coach. If they in that bad a situation and he can help and he don't, then he gonna get banned for that. He gonna get ridiculed and criticized. He gonna get drilled. So you can't win for lose. I help you, and it's a mess. I don't help, and it's a mess. So come on
Coach,
now.
they was killing him on pregame meals. Coach, I can't get the team pregame meal.
Come on now, Coach. You know how many Coach? That's my first year at Jenkins. I paid for the. Well, I'm sorry, family. Coach. Because they ain't gonna eat otherwise. So I ain't gonna not feed my guys. They gotta eat. Come on now. Because then if they don't eat and they hungry, then I'm a horrible coach for them not eating. Got them gear. Got them the the kids want they want the accessory. They want the stuff that they. My mama, I couldn't go to Dick's. I couldn't go to Hibbett or wherever they sell all that stuff at. We child please. So coach gonna come through and take care of it. It's the coach. It's my coach.
Mm-hmm.
It's somebody. I said somebody said on talking about because one guy had said push specialist, kind of said was talking about little league coaches. That's all you do, right? So the one guy who kind of he been really against it. But he's also, to put in context, he's a diehard, this is the hypocrisy of it, Coach. Not to go into detail, he's a diehard Lakeland football fan. He's totally against what's going on with Bridgewater. I'm like, come on, bro. Lakeland football. And I'm not, and this is me speaking with authority on this because I coached basketball at Lakeland for 12, 13 years. So I was intimately aware of how the things went. And not saying that's the only place, but let's keep it a buck. It's that whole pot calling the kettle black type deal.
and coach, like places like Northwestern and Central, and even like Lakeland, even Kathleen, coach, they've been fortunate enough to have pro athletes, right?
Right.
And these pro athletes, they give back. They give back, coach. I
Coach,
don't
that's
think.
the thing. What's the difference between what the Pouncers did and have done, Ray has done, and what Bridgewater did? It's like, what's this? Because they not on the team. I mean, they're not on the coaching staff. And so, like, so you didn't, it's okay for the Pouncers to do it. It's okay for Ray to do it. It's okay for, like you say, all these professional athletes to do it. But this guy's a professional athlete too, and he's taking it a step further.
Mm-hmm.
He's coaching the team, and he's taking it even another step further. He's a volunteer. He's not even, y'all don't even pay him. He's doing this at no cost to the school or the program. And he's giving y'all his money. And he's suspended for that. I just it's totally, hopefully the FHSAA will revisit that rule. And I get First Academy, y'all bammed us, so it ain't fair. If you bammed us, you got to bam them. Not sure how it went with First Academy. I just know that's the thing that I saw a couple places that they're the ones that kind of turned it in. So I'm not sure what their violation was. But if they were doing the same thing, but First Academy, and then you get into the weeds, I guess, with, the First Academy kids, you go in First Academy, you're not a First Academy type of socioeconomic situation is not a Miami Northwestern socioeconomic situation. But it's still kids is kids. So you can't separate. So if the rule is, I guess that's what they're saying.
I'm
That's
pretty
what
sure
you
they have
told
some kids that they don't put on scholarship that comes there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I totally understand that, but I don't know. I just think Gainesville totally dropped the ball on this, and they're gonna get criticized heavily. Now it's on a national platform.
They can't run from it now, cause
Like
they don't like all that. They don't like that kind of publicity, but they got it now.
Cam Newton, I seen talk about it today. Coach,
I saw him too. Yeah. So, but Coach, talking about news, and this is we're not in Polk County yet. We're gonna come here in a minute, but last night, and we do men's, but we do show love to the ladies as well, based off of But anyway, last night, WNBA All-Star game. So a lot of conversation, criticism, critique, whatever you want to call it, has been going on with how the All-Star ladies came out and warmed up with the shirts, which essentially, if you guys hadn't seen it, says to pay us what you owe us.
Okay.
And so you got a lot of people that are like, you're kind of, they feel like a lot of stuff I read felt like they were kind of, some people felt like, okay, yeah, but then some people from a business perspective feel like they was out of pocket because the WNBA is not even it's been losing money. It's not profitable. So how you gonna say somebody overpaying you when we're not even making any money off of the product that you guys are, kind of putting on the floor? And so it's, the comparison is the Title IX stuff with the men, the NBA and WNBA. Well, the WNBA, they revenue, they making money. So what's your thought? I know you coach girls, you coach ladies, so you got a different, probably more unique perspective. What is your thought on that as far as that message, and where is it? Because I saw with Angel Reese, she's very vocal saying that they not playing, they'll sit out and this kind of stuff. And I didn't realize, I guess I hadn't been paying attention. I didn't realize that WNBA been going on for over 20-something years. Like, I don't know why I thought this was just started in the last 5-10 years, but I guess 23, 25 years, and you still ain't made a profit in 23, 25 years, Coach. That's, in most cases, that's bad business, right? But I saw somebody say the NBA is just a tax write-off for them, so they don't really, it's not hurting them. But 25 years of business and you still ain't made a profit, because that ain't even good business, right? So what's your thoughts?
Because you want the barbershop answer, or
I want to keep it a buck. That's gonna still
Coach. I understand from their perspective and what they're fighting for, but from a business standpoint, right? Um, if I'm an employee and I want to raise and I want to show my boss like what value that I'm bringing, it's like, hey, over the past year, I have brought this company X amount of dollars, and we've been operating with a record profits, and I feel I deserve a raise. You know what I'm saying? You can't be operating in the red and then expect your company or whatever to pay you more. It just don't work like that, coach. That's just not gonna happen. Am I surprised at the salaries that they get? Yes, I'm very surprised. Like, you talking about the number one pick, their rookie salary is like 70 some grand, and that is not even enough for them to live in the cities that they're living in. So just imagine making 70 some grand trying to live in New York or Chicago, cause you're not gonna be able to find an apartment, you know, living off that. And I totally understand that. Totally understand that. But I think they're fighting for better wages, which they should. But at the same time, they're gonna have to bring some kind of economic genius in where they can find a way to generate more money. If they're not generating the views and the market deals in order to generate more money, they're not going to be able to pay them more. It's just not going to happen.
And see, that's my point. And Coach Blicker, appreciate that. And my little bro will tap in tonight. Um, so that's my thing. Like now, I know, and to Mr. Bell point, to Coach Bell point, like I really didn't know. Like I didn't know they had been around that long, but they're getting a whole lot more TV exposure now.
Hmm.
Like they're getting primetime type TV spots, and they getting games throughout the weekend. Not the big networks, but they getting them on like Ion and Prime TV, and so you getting them in different places. So we know TV usually brings about money, and then if the NBA is kind of, kind of, I guess, kind of the big brother. I guess I don't know necessarily the makeup, but 76,000 a year for the number one pick. I guess the question for me would be where is the like it's coming from, because it's not, like you say, it's not profitable right now. That's just based off of any information you can look up, but that's been posted since last night. So the TV deal is going to be the one that has to send it over the top, because I guess they're in place now to get. And I didn't realize this also, because I just me, my I guess my ignorance. You see a lot of stuff about Caitlin Clark, but it seems like in one sense they're trying to make her the villain, they're making her the star of it. But then I look at like their team and they're like 500 or under 500. So it's like they're not even like one of the top teams in the league that she play on. So I don't know. I found
If,
all of
if,
that
if
interesting, like all of it, coach. Like all of it is interesting to me. But I guess I am ignorant. I will
yeah,
admit my lack of knowledge. So I'm not speaking from a platform like I know all the stuff, that I don't. Like I don't at all. I just saw that last night, and I've been kind of looking at stuff online all day, and it's been getting a lot of reaction and conversation. Which I don't know if that was their
mhm,
goal, because if that was their goal, they met it.
yeah.
So
But Blicker put in some great information. That means their salaries probably get renegotiated for next year. But until then, what I'm saying, they stuck with what they have. Um, my thing is with Caitlin Clark, you gotta capitalize on her, whether she's the hero, whether she's a villain, whatever it is, coach. The fact is, coach, she sell out gyms, right? People come watch her play. People want to debate her in the Angel Reese thing, which I don't know why they're compared. They don't even play the same position or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it keeps them relevant. and they got to capitalize off that. So I'm happy that they got a new deal, and
That's
like I
gonna be
said, it
fun.
should, um,
Yeah,
you know, increase.
200 million to 2.2 billion. Yeah, that's a whole different conversation there. So
But should they let it get like baseball and let the owners decide what they want to pay them? You know what I'm saying? Because the people that own the team usually own the NBA team that's there too. So they have money if they want to invest in those, those players, right? But they capped at some point. You know what I'm saying? So
if they got that big of a TV deal, that means that Disney, NBC, and Amazon believe in the product. I mean, I guess it took, and it's gonna be for 11 years, so that should help. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like I said, for me, I gotta look into it more so I can be more knowledgeable.
yeah.
I just saw it. I'm not real knowledgeable
Yeah.
on it. I just thought it was
Un-
interesting. Just they are brought
Until
it up.
until they start bringing in more money, they really don't have a leg to stand on. That deal is gonna help. So that should increase like base salaries for veterans and for rookies. I think it's a step in the right direction, but they're gonna have to get into their collective bargaining agreement. Whoever's ahead of their association, gonna really have to get in there and just fight for them. Only thing, it just needs to improve. I think if they show improvement, you know what I'm saying, but it got to support the numbers. Like they got to have the numbers behind them. But coach, people not people are criticizing or saying that they should be paying more, but are you buying the jerseys? You know what I'm saying? Are you buying tickets to go watch them play, or even are you watching them play on TV? You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be a part of the solution, coach.
I think it was a great move, and that even learning this stuff, Coach Blicker putting in the chat. But even before I knew all this, I'm like, it was a great move because now it's going to create conversation. It's going to bring attention even more than they whatever they already had. So if the fact that so many of them, and I saw where after a post game interview, one of the ladies they was talking to was like, I guess Caitlin Clark and somebody else didn't have the shirts on, but they say they wasn't in the meeting because I guess they had a players meeting to decide they was going to do it. So it was like only people knew they was doing it was the players, and she wasn't in the meeting. So they because they was finna create, okay, well Caitlin ain't do it, and everybody else do it. They was like, well she didn't know because she wasn't in there. So I like the solidarity of it, and I like them all doing it, and I think it was a great play, and especially knowing that now they about the NBA get half of the revenue, but the NBA don't even play. So now they only get 10, and the NBA get 50. But I guess that was a backwards deal coming in, but you really had no leg to stand on until you put
Yeah,
a
because the
product
NBA,
on the floor. So now they at least got a product. Like I said, they on TV, and clearly the TV networks believe in them if they giving them that type of deal. So now they played it where they where they should be able to cash out now or come up. I guess
but I think she did wear the shirt though.
she did. Somebody didn't wear the shirt, and I just saw what they said. Somebody went in the meeting. Maybe it wasn't Caitlin Clark.
Yeah,
But like I say, once again, I admit my lack of knowledge in when it comes to WNBA, but I'm gonna work on it. But I just that was very
but I will say this: their All Star weekend this past weekend, I was looking at the people in the stands and the celebrities that was there. Coach, it was a whole vibe. It's starting to really pick up momentum, and
starting to become a
yeah,
thing. That's a
for
good thing.
sure.
Good. Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna come back local and transfer portal, coach. The transfer portal has been rough for Polk County this week.
Hmm.
So, unless you have been under a rock, uh, we lost two of our top players, not just in their class, not just in the county, but in the entire state. So, Quentin Wilson, formerly of Victory Christian, has decided to transfer to Overtime Elite. Like he was playing with a team called the Cold Hearts, and it was posted today. And a lot of times when we get information, you all know we're not in a rush to be the first people to post it. That don't do anything for us. We try to be respectful of the people that it's affecting. Once they post it, then we'll say, we'll say we can now post and we can confirm and now post. So the information for both of those young men we were aware of. We just out of respect we waited till they posted it to post it on our page. But the other one this morning was 2028 guard Ethan Knox, formerly of Santa Fe, has decided to go over to North Tampa Christian. And one of our other top kids, from 2027 class, he's not 2026, is Darian Willis. We posted because it got posted that he was transferring to Zephyrhills Christian. So 3 of the top kids in the state, not even just Polk County, but they are in Polk County, obviously, but in the state, have decided to go elsewhere. So, Coach, what is going on with we're in Polk County training them, coaching them up, developing them, putting them on the stage, putting them in a position to be successful, and now they gone like it never happened. What's your thoughts on the transfer portal this week and just overall?
Well, first, I want to say good luck to each one of those young men. Whether you like it, right, wrong, or indifferent, they're still kids, and we want the best for these kids. So, first of all, I want to say good luck to them from Coach Washington, Coach Billy D, and Polk Hoops. The next thing is, Coach, here in Polk County, we gotta be more proactive instead of reactive, right? We've been talking about certain things about Polk County basketball for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like scheduling and putting kids on platforms where they're able to be seen. So trying to get into the bigger tournaments, things of that nature. And you and I both know I called the Q thing a year ago. You know what I'm saying? I knew it was gonna be tough for Victory to keep that kid. You know what I'm saying? And I said it on the air a year ago. You know what I'm saying? I told you guys a year ago like they need to be working on the NIL deal to try to keep that kid. You know what I'm saying? And you can't be upset. You know what I'm saying that he goes to OTE and then make a minimum of $100,000. He's making more than all teachers, coach. You know what I'm saying? And administrators and principals and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, if we have to be able to give these kids a product that's gonna hold on to them and keep them here. You know what I'm saying? Because they're looking at social media too, coach. They're looking at these other kids, highlight tapes. They looking at these other kids' exposure. They're looking at these other kids getting paid, coach. They want to get paid too. You know what I'm saying? They compare themselves whether they want to or not. They probably feel that they're just as good or better than these kids that are getting these opportunities. You know what I'm saying? So you can't get mad at the kid and the parent because they want to explore those opportunities. I wish them well. I hope it works for them. Seen situations where it didn't, but we want these kids to be successful. But again, I think we got to be more proactive here in Polk County. If you don't have a NIL, um, situation, that it needs to be somebody talking to somebody to establish it. You know what I'm saying? Also, as a program, if you one of the top programs, you got to be playing in the top, platforms and tournaments. You know what I'm saying? Like somehow you got to be trying to knock on the door to get in the city of Palms, or even going out of state to some of these huge tournaments where coaches are at, and you got to go there and make noise. Do we have those type of teams here, or will we go out of the state or to these major tournaments and get embarrassed? You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta produce a product that these kids and parents are gonna get behind. And unfortunately, we publicize football, but I think basketball here is just as good. You know what I'm saying? Like Knox Q and the Link kid from Bartow are top 10 kids in their class, coach. That's 3 of the top 10 kids that were in Polk County. You know what I'm saying? And we don't find a way to lose 2 of them.
So, in some cases, coach, because and this is just me and my soapbox. Like you said, obviously we want the kids to be great and be successful. We just want them, from a selfish perspective, we want them to do it in Polk County, right?
Mhm.
But if your situation becomes one where you feel like you need to go somewhere else to do it, Coach, Santa Fe runs a good program. Victory runs a good program. I mean, they both just played for the championship last year. Um, I Q, if we talking money, I mean, it's hard for, a 15, 16-year-old kid to turn down 6 figures. I get that. And I ain't questioning, but so Knox went to North Tampa Christian, or he's going to North Tampa Christian. Because I don't necessarily know from a basketball team perspective. Now, if there's some other stuff going on, if it's NIL or some extra stuff going on, you know, other mitigating factors, then that becomes different. But if we just talking about team to team or program to program, especially with all what North Tampa Christian lost, whether graduation or they transferred, I don't know if North Tampa Christian is a better team than Santa Fe.
I don't think that's the motivating factor, coach. I don't think that's what they're looking at. I think they're trying to maximize their opportunity to put them in a position to um, get be Power Five. You know what I'm saying? And the higher the Power Five, the more money you get. As far as that goes, so maybe um, North Tampa Christian or who's ever affiliated with that, has a great trainer or something, some type of elite training opportunities that these kids are able to get, around the clock or something, or they're promising a platform that they can put him on in order to be seen and showcased even more. It's got to be more to it. I don't think that's the motivating factor, because if that's it, if that's the only thing, then okay, he should have stayed. Because right now, with him being there, I had Santa Fe back in the championship game again. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, that can't only be it. It has to be more than that. And I think whatever conversations they had with the kid and the parents, they feel that, they can offer them more than what he was getting at Santa Fe.
And then and then so that's the Santa Fe spill. Then the Q situation, like you said he was going to be gone last year. You felt like it's going to be hard for him to keep him. Because once again, maybe I'm just real biased, and I don't apologize for that. I want all our kids to stay with us, so I was like, they gonna keep them. Especially, mom loved the program, still does. Victory, and if you look at it, when it got announced, Victory people, I didn't see one negative thing from anybody who I know that was with Victory. From the coaches to the parents, whatever, and you know I just got a text message that Q had 2 NIL deals last year while he was at Victory, and Victory they're not they still good with the family. They still want them to be successful. So I don't think there's any hard feelings there. I think they fully support him, and I don't think it caught them by surprise. I think it happened quicker than they thought. But then, like you say, it's hard if you're telling your little teenage kid you're gonna get 6 figures. I mean, that's hard to say no to, So you're gonna pay me to play basketball, and I'm a train and I'm gonna develop, but I'm hooping and I'm getting paid. So that money I think was the final factor. But I don't think it didn't catch Victory by surprise, and they're fully supportive of him as we are. Like I say, so like you said, coach, and the second that we don't want to come off like we are we're bashing the kids or we're mad they're leaving. We're not mad they're leaving for us like mad. We're just like I say, we want our kids to stay with us. So Q started with Polk County. We want him to finish in Polk County. That's just if it's being selfish, then we'll own that. Especially me. Ethan started in Polk County, wanted to finish in Polk County. That's just how we are. We want a Darian to finish in Polk County, but if they choose to go elsewhere, I mean, we still gonna support them. We support kids. Y'all see all the time, kids leave Polk County, and we'll still say that school's alum when if they got a kind of accolade. So we're not gonna stop cheering for them and supporting them. We're talking A about them leaving, and then B, what is this just a sign? That's the second part is it a sign of the times? Like we get good kids and they and I guess we're not doing it's not anything that any other county like Orange County probably goes through it a lot. I'm sure we just got, like you said, if you got 3 of the top 10 kids in the state in their class, people are gonna take notice, right? And then Q had a great summer, and Ethan was having a great summer with Santa Fe, and so people looking, people got eyes on them, and so people will try to come, and to Coach Hill's place. Shout out to Coach Hill, Haines City head coach. Sometimes they do just move, coach, and if you just move into a zone, then I don't think we're talking about that. We're not talking about I lived in St. Cloud and I moved into Haines City, so now I go to Haines City. We're talking these kids wasn't moves; they were transitions, I guess. Maybe it's a better word for it. But yeah, that wasn't a move with them.
Yeah. But like then Q had NIL here, and I'm sure he did. I know he did, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't the type of life-changing money that they're probably throwing at him right now. Like I said, when people start throwing around those type of numbers, coach, you're gonna have to listen for sure. And then in the end, you got to do what's best for what's you and your family. And for years, coach, for decades, um, people have exploited athletes, coach, and now what I'm saying, the rabbit got the gun. What I'm saying, they're choosing their own fate. I'm not upset with these young people, chasing, those dreams and are getting paid, because for the longest time they exploited these athletes for billions, coach, and they got nothing. What I'm saying? Remember the national championship um team from UConn, and the kids got on and said that they was hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like it's got to change.
So this is the thing, Coach. So first of all, shout out while we're talking victory. Shout out to 2026 MJ McCullough picked up his first offer from Dean College yesterday. So congrats to you, MJ. Long overdue, well deserved. Probably the hardest working kid in the entire county, no matter position. I don't think I ever saw a kid last year play hard as he played. So I'm glad somebody rewarding him for his hard work and his consistency. So
great kid.
And a great kid, great person. So very happy that I saw that this morning. I know he posted last night on his page. I saw it this morning. But Victory, they're a family, coach. So they happy for Q and wish him the best like we do. But they ain't like they're gonna be chopped liver. He gone. No. But they still got a nice team. And Santa Fe, they're gonna miss Ethan, but Santa Fe still got a good team, coach. Those two teams are still gonna be very good in the way they coach their coaches are. They're gonna just, all right, we just gotta get to work. We gotta get to work, next man up, and we wish him the best. We wish him well. We don't wish no ill feelings toward him. If you need anything, give us a call. That's a decision that you made. And we just pray that for both of them and Darian, if he's, all 3 of them, that it works out for them, because sometimes and all the time the grass ain't necessarily greener. So we hope the grass is still green when they get to their new locations for all of their sakes. We don't want them to go unfair. We want them to continue to succeed. Because what do we do now that we have? What do we do we have these high level coaches and these programs that are starting to develop these kids. So they're not going to be the last three high profile kids that come through these programs.
No.
So now what? Okay, so now we're in a situation where that's happening. So you get a kid's exposure. All right, go get on this team and go to live periods. You go to Georgia and get in front of these coaches, and that's great for the exposure. But now they're exposed. So do you change your philosophy? Do you keep your secrets secret?
No, you can't. You
Okay.
can't, bro. Because if you do that, you hurting a kid. So like I said, I just think we got to be proactive instead of reactive. There are companies out here now, and that's what they do. I just talked to somebody day before yesterday, and they work for one of these company coaches, and they go out there and they work to find these kids money, locally, nationally, with companies. You know what I'm saying? I think these partnerships has got to start here in Polk County as far as keeping our high profile kids. And coach, we're gonna have high profile kids, especially it's gonna be more in football. But I think eventually we're gonna close that gap in basketball too, where we're gonna have kids like Q and Willis and Knox come through here and the Link kid. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure, with his brother being who he was, I'm pretty sure it's people trying to get at him too. You know what I'm saying? I've heard his name several times, outside of the county, um, about that kid. Like, but we gotta be proactive about it. We gotta, you know, research these things and try to help these kids, with this. So they, for one, they don't get taken advantage of, and two, that they educate themselves and provide the opportunity for these kids to maximize this on these opportunities.
So you can't keep them a secret, but once they're not a secret, now, so just from an advice perspective, because now you got to be in the advice business, right? So you're
Mhm.
not keeping them secret, you developing them. They're getting better. They're producing. You you're not gonna keep them in the closet. You're gonna put them out, put them on the runway and let them go. And so now you got all these eyes on them. So how do you keep them?
Coach, it's all about building relationships first, and you got to be genuine with those relationships. You can't be selfish, worried about you know what's best for you and your program. You have to be genuinely do what's best for that particular individual. Like you got to develop a relationship. You got to be gain that kid's trust where they can come to you and and get genuine advice. And like Calipari, when he told I think it was Cousins, like Cousins was talking about coming back the next year. You know what I'm saying? He's like, sir, you know what I'm saying, you gonna be a top 5 pick. Like you're not gonna be here next year. You know what I'm saying? And just to tell, like I said, just be genuine about it. Like it's really gonna come down to relationships, but also, like I said, you're gonna have to broaden your horizons and start developing relationships with like these companies and whatever in order to um, provide more opportunities for these kids. Because coach, they see what's going on. They see these kids getting paid. You know what I'm saying? They see all the lights, the cameras. They see all the coaches in the stands. Coach, they want that. Are you able to provide that?
So to Ted Young, shout out to Ted Young, do a great job. His podcast, very entertaining. I've tapped in a couple times and check you out, boss. So appreciate you tapping in tonight. So are we in a reality now that if you don't have the money, is you out of gas? And that's a throwback term, out of gas for youngins. But so, and do we have in Polk County? Do we have the infrastructure? I don't know if that's the right word, to be able to, like you're saying, build these relationships with these businesses and companies that could help to teams struggle to fundraise just to do, as we talked about earlier with Teddy Bridgewater. Teams struggle to fundraise because just for pregame meals and warm ups and uniforms and shoes. Now we talking about finding money outside of that to be able to I mean, is that you understand? Like if I'm struggling just to feed my kids, then I gotta try to figure out because if I go to this company and this company first thing I'm asking for is for my program. I'm not necessarily asking for one kid for NIL deal to keep the kid, right? Because I gotta take care of the whole before I focus on the individual. So how does that how do we are we just going to be in a continue to be in a deficit because we don't have the biggest bag, as Tab said? Because we
Oh,
don't.
I just think we need to form relationships where it's companies out there that will find it for you, coach. You don't have to particularly find it; they'll find it for you, and we just have to build those bridges and connections and get in those on the golf course or wherever those talking points are being made at. And as far as the biggest bag, coach, all money not good money. You know what I'm saying? So I know if I'm advising a kid, say somebody's offering 100 grand, the other one's offering 80. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, you getting the money, but I'm gonna advise you to go with the better situation for you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking with schools right now about my kids. You know what I'm saying? If the money is great, but at the same time, your kid, and in certain situations that they probably fail in those situations. So we want to make sure that the situation is best for the kid, no matter how much money they're getting. Because like you said, all money is not good money. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You can get paid, this amount of money, but is it worth, 10 or 15 more thousand to be in a hostile environment where you don't like it there? You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be in a more family, send my kids to a more family environment. They might get paid less, but they're still getting paid just to make sure that they're successful when they get there. You know what I'm saying? So they got to look at the whole picture.
Oh, bitch. Okay. Shout out to Jarius Rutherford, owner of the Barber Skate Shop. He putting on a 3-on-3 tournament next month. I think it's August 2nd or 3rd. I might have the date wrong, boss.
Second.
Second. So y'all make sure y'all want to tap in with that, right? Folks, school jump in. But he made a point, him and Mike both made a point that Mike says this new. That T Mac left, Amari left, Bacon left, which is true. Chris Davis left. I remember that his senior year. But so is that not that was so you know how they say everything comes back around, like fashion comes back around, songs
Right.
come back around. Nothing is original. So are we just having a? Is it just a repeat now?
But let's talk about the teams that they were on. Those teams wasn't even competitive. Let's keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Like McKeel couldn't beat Tampa Prep over there. You know what I'm saying? Like him and Corey could not beat those people. You know what I'm saying? So their situation, I think, is different. Like at least at Victory and Santa Fe, you talking about competitive basketball where they're competing for state championships. Everybody that they name wasn't competing for no state championship. You know what I'm saying? T Mac wasn't competing for one. Amari wasn't competing for one. Bacon wasn't competing for a state championship. You know what I'm saying? It's still high level basketball from where these kids that just left. You know what I'm saying? They're coming from still high level basketball, but those situations, what I'm saying, as far as the team goes, I would have left too. You know, for me to have an opportunity to play with the best team in the nation, you talking about top 5 teams in the nation, from Oak Hill to Mount Zion.
Okay. So you saying they're not the same because one case the teams was trash and the teams these kids leaving is not trash. So it's not you can't compare the two.
I was trying to be respectful and not call them trash, but you
Not I'm
know,
talking about the back in the day teams. I mean,
yeah,
it
that's
is
what
what
I'm
it
talking
is.
about. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
talking
they
about.
was trash. They was trash. I be PG for a minute. They were trash. So you leaving trash ain't no problem. But these kids leaving championship teams, literally they was in the
They
championship.
was competing for championships.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's
It's
a
not
little
the
bit different, and I'm pretty sure um, that's a little bit tougher to leave when I know I'm right there on the cusp of winning. You know what I'm saying? So what are you gonna offer me that's gonna make me leave this situation? I'm pretty sure whatever was offered had to be over and beyond for them to move on from that situation.
So these are two questions, Coach, and they're totally separate. So you answer them how you want to. First, to Coach Morrell's point, shout out to Coach Grady Morrell, always tapping in and supporting us. Um, I'm gonna get three questions. I'm gonna do him, Coach Lance, and then what you just said. So this first one is it time? Is it overtime, or should we be approaching um, basketball like a business? That's first of all. That's the first one. The second one, and I might have forgot the third one. Um, oh, to his point, the second part is you go to the parents and see what they need. So if what they need you can't cover, that becomes a little shaky. And I think the third question to Coach Johnson's point, shout out to Coach Johnson out at Lake Gibson. Um, we're behind with these things. Do you think the school board will ever commit to improving these things so we can catch up? Because it's going to take some help from the school board, right? Especially with these rules in place the Teddy Bridgewater rule.
Coach, and I'm gonna just talk about Polk County. We terribly behind, right? Let's just talk about facilities, right? Polk County, they just like my school is fairly new, right? We're 4 years old. Like, why didn't they build an auxiliary gym? When you have auxiliary gyms, especially in the southwest corner, from Naples all the way up to Charlotte, it's auxiliary gyms. You even have some, in other areas too. But now you're not competing for practice space. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're able to host tournaments and build revenue. You know what I'm saying? Like they're about to build a new school in Ponciana, and I bet you an auxiliary gym is not on those plans. In basketball, sports is a business, coach. Regardless whether it's high school sports or college or pro, it's still a business. They're in it to make. You still got to pay for that stuff. You got to pay for equipment. You got to pay for referees. You got to pay for the lights, the water. You got to pay for all that stuff. So you got to generate funds. So make sure that you have to put a product on the floor and for people to come in order to cover that stuff. Like most of it, everybody's operating in the red. Like people don't even come out and watch the games anymore. You don't even have enough to cover the referees. So you got to take away from another sport, or maybe from their fundraising from that particular sport in order to cover costs like referees and stuff, coach.
But coach, I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a minute. Okay, you're saying put a good product on the floor. Coach, you always put good products on the floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you have a perspective what's the perspective of someone who ain't able to put a good product on the floor, ain't put a good or whatever? Because I imagine that they would be like, well, you're a coach, your ability to do that sound good, but you coaching state champions every year, right? So what about me over there?
It's not like they come watch us play. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm putting that product on the floor, and it's not like the gym is packed. You know what I'm saying? So, and I criticize that. I'm not from Winter Haven, but I'm been overly critical that the people don't come watch that team play and don't support it financially. I've always been vocal about that. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, if you're not, it's different ways where you can make it interactive. You know what I'm saying? Like just put on, a middle school night or some type of having different themes or something where people come and be interactive. Like like Coach, we talked about like student sections. You know what I'm saying? Like what I'm gonna do to have this crazy student section. You know, charge them $1 or two. You know what I'm saying? Then have them going crazy in the student section and just create the environment where people want to come. Like, hey, I might not be coming to see the game. I'm just coming to see how they student section act. Like they're entertaining in itself. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to find different creative ways in order to get people out. You know what I'm saying? So
I know I did that at Jenkins. I used to have crazy towels. You wear the terrible the towel that they used to sell for football games. If you show your towel as a student, you get in free. They didn't charge you. Cause like I just said, I'd rather you have you in the gym than not. And I know, when you losing money at the gate, well, if they gonna spend money, I'd rather go to the concession stand because now it goes into it's not an internal account. That internal account is like Fort
yeah,
Knox getting stuff out of there. So
for sure.
I rather go in my booster account. But yeah, I agree. It's just
And
we
that's
got
the
it's like we
thing,
got.
Coach. Winter Haven don't even have a booster club. Like that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's it's frustrating. You know what I'm saying? And Opie, I see you. And yes, you have been there for the beginning, and we appreciate you. But like even now, Coach, we got 2 trips on the West Coast: Fresno, California, and Portland, Oregon. Coach, those trips are not going to be cheap. They're not going to be cheap.
Nope. And y'all better not go to y'all better make sure y'all in that ginormous Nike store. Y'all gonna be on the Teddy Bridgewater news. Y'all come back. Better keep it to yourself. Hey, call it the Teddy Bridgewater now, man.
What?
Teddy Bridgewater, y'all. You and Johnny, man. Y'all better be careful. But you're right, Coach. It ain't gonna be cheap. Let's look at what Coach Morrell says. So okay. Those are good. That's a good thing. So everybody has alumni. So I just and to my little bro point, Will's like he feel like if you approach as a business, you're not gonna get good quality basketball. I don't know if you can have good quality basketball as we move forward because it's becoming about, like Teb said, like it or not, it's becoming about money. Can you provide money or can you provide resources or services which cost money in order to be appealing to not just, and it ain't even just about the kids, my coach, you got to be appealing to the parents.
Yes.
Because this got to make sense to the parents and the kid, and all that stuff costs money. Everything we're talking about, whether it's services, whether it's fundraising, all that stuff costs. So you can't do basketball no more like we used to do it. You can't do it without money, coach. It's like it's sad. I don't even know if it's sad, or it's a sign of the times, or just it is what it is. But you can't do basketball without that. So you got to kind of think about it somewhat, or else you gonna fall behind, like we're saying, right?
I agree. And you know what I'm saying? Now with the digital age, like Coach, you gotta have somebody filming, making highlight tapes and doing promotional, videos and individual highlight tapes. You gotta have all of that, Coach. You know what I'm saying? Like and that takes money and resources and it's not cheap. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, kids gotta get training. You can't get left behind with training. You know what I'm saying? So
I just don't know if it's. I just don't know if because not many teams in Polk County would be able to offer Q or any Ethan, Dario, anybody 6 figures. I don't know if you can offer them a high 5 figures. And maybe I mean I don't know everybody's situation budget wise for their programs, but that's going. I mean, obviously that's
yeah, but
hard
it
to.
can't come from the school, Coach. It can't come from the school. Like I
That's
said,
what
you
I'm
got to
saying.
build those relationships with businesses. And like I said, there are sports marketing companies, and that's what they do is find those resources. You know what I'm saying? Maybe those resources are not locally.
So
It
what
may,
does that do to you, Coach? That you got one kid getting, let's just say, a 50 grand, 50 stacks NIL deal, but they the only one on your team getting one. How did then the question is, okay, as we go, how is that gonna translate in the locker room with the other jits that ain't getting no money, like that ain't getting paid? Because as a coach, you're coaching the whole team, the whole
Mhm.
program, but you got one jit that's getting 50 stacks and ain't nobody else getting nothing.
And
That
that's why they say it can't be from the school. You know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
what I'm saying is, whether they come from the school or not, if they know the locker room that Billy D is getting 50 grand and he the only one getting 50 grand, you can't tell me that's not going to be an issue for the other 14. And if you count JV, the other 15, the other 29 kids in your program, that's gonna be tough to deal with. And you as the coach, I mean, how do you because if you going to ask for the money, you asking for the money for your program. You're not asking for the money
yeah,
just for that one kid. So you understand it becomes a real slippery slope with that. I guess um I don't know. I just that's a
yeah. We're journeying down a road of unknown territory, coach.
Mhm. But we gonna move on. But we the one we gotta talk about it,
We
and we're
gotta
gonna talk
address
about
it.
it in a way that's gonna be respectful. We're not gonna criticize. We're not gonna annihilate. We're not gonna be negative about it with no kids in no situation. But we're gonna,
Yeah,
it's a conversation that people need to either be aware of, knowledgeable of. It's a healthy conversation because the reality is they're not gonna be the last three,
no,
right? Because the way we're developing kids and talent. This could replay itself next year with three different kids. So, I mean, it's not going away. It's not going away. In my opinion, anytime soon. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but you are right. It's a lot of weeds to it. It's a lot of gray area, and we're just trying to help, and we can just help one. What they say when you go to church, we can just help one. With a little information, we can just one. Then we've served our purpose on here. So, transitioning on this. Speaking of high school, this Saturday we do have a high school showcase at the alumni tournament. If you are on Team Tumor, you need to wear your white or light, uniform top or uniform whatever. If you're on Team Washington, you need to wear the dark. And we'll post it on the page and send it to the coaches as well. We just want to say it while we're on here. Man, Coach, we still this is a hot topic, Coach.
yeah, man. They
Yeah, yeah.
they fine.
Um, this weekend we are, if you haven't been paying attention, we are having our I guess our annual family reunion, our annual alumni tournament where it's high school county pride. Something we started 3 years ago, and it's continued. We've been blessed that it's continuing to grow. This is year three, and we've grown in teams each and every year. And so this year we're excited to have four women teams, lady teams. We did the ladies last year and added more this year. We have 12 men teams. We got 16 teams that'll be in Bartow High School at some point during the weekend. The tournament is double elimination format. So on the women's side last year, the Bartow Yellow Jackets ladies won the championship. And on the men's side, the Lake Wells men won it. Actually, the Lake Wells men have won it both years. We've had it 2 times, and so they're seeking a three-peat. They feel like there's something like a dynasty, and we have we Coach Blicker, we got to get you. Coach Blicker need his own reality show. What he just wrote, Coach. So Friday, we playing games on Friday. We got 5 games on Friday, and then we in there all day Saturday, and all day Sunday. So first game is 4 p.m. Tenor Rock versus Fort Meade. Then 5:15 we have the Lake Wells ladies who are making their debut, and they will take on the State Junkies from Winter Haven. And then the next game, the third game, I think it's 6:15, something like that, 6:30, will be the Winter Haven OGs taking on the Bartow Yellow Jackets, Lady Jackets. 7:45, you got the Lakeland versus Lake Gibson men, and the nightcap will be the home-standing Bartow Yellow Jackets taking on the Winter Haven Blue Devils. Now you did, and then Saturday morning, the 9 o'clock game, the first game up is two new teams to the bracket. Ridge is not new as far as having players in the tournament. This will be the first year they got their own team. They have been combining with Haines City, and they take it on Frostproof. Frostproof first time in the tournament, and then after that we'll be doing like winner bracket, loser bracket, and so the 14, the top four seeds for the men's got buys. So Arbondale will play 11 a.m. against the winner of Bartow Winter Haven. 12 p.m. will be Lake Region, who'll play the winner of Ridge Frostproof. 1 o'clock, Kathleen will play the winner of Lakeland versus Lake Gibson. And at 2 o'clock, the Lake Wells, the defending champs, will play the winner of Tenor Rock Fort Meade. And then the rest of the night, it'll go like winner's bracket, loser's bracket. So, Coach, we got a full field. We've placed all the rosters, finally got submitted. So we've posted all the rosters. Any things you want to say for the good of the cause for the people? We did have a conference call earlier, but anything you want to say about the logistics of the tourney on here tonight? So for people that may play
Yes,
in
sir.
the
Remember, it's for a good cause. Like for one, we're raising money for a scholarship, and then just um, covering our costs. It's a family reunion. We want to make sure that we come there, we be respectable for Bartow in that gym, help us with the trash, making sure that we come there and we're acting accordingly. We'll have security there. There'll be deputy sheriffs that will be there. So make sure that we act accordingly. Just also know that this is on a high school campus. So make sure, just like a regular high school game, is certain things that you cannot bring onto a campus, and make sure that we don't bring those things on. Um, we're looking to have a good time. We want to have this annually. We don't want anything to happen where it messes things up. We want to make sure that the relationships that we have, we keep those in place. We want to make sure that we run a great, successful event. We've had great attendance. We have gotten great support in the last 2 years, and we appreciate that. But we want to make sure that continues, and we need you guys' help with that. So please, please, please come, support, keep it a positive environment, and just have a help us have a successful event. It has grown into 16 teams, coach. We never would imagine after year one that we'll be here right now. You
tournament.
know what I'm saying? So we're excited. I'm excited for the high school showcase. I'm just excited all the way around. We'll be able to, donate to Bartow and their program, and we're excited about that. Just keep in mind that this event is eventually goes back to the kids. You have Tumor in the step group in the concession stand. Please, please, please. There's no outside vendors. Be respectable of that, and support the cause.
So I just like I say, I'm so biased toward Polk County, and I just like we are humble and excited that we get to do this, and we just believe so much in y'all, man. We just know y'all. That's why we don't mind doing it. That's why don't we don't charge. We don't take. I mean, we just it's just an event for people to have good energy, good vibes. In the summer, you see people you ain't seen in a while, and we can put all this around basketball, man. And like you said, y'all done came for the first 2 years, and we had no issues. Came and chilled, hang out, had a good time. You see people that you played against, people that you watched, these people you ain't seen in a year. It's just literally just a hangout. It's a good time. It's a family reunion all weekend long, and we went from one day to a whole weekend because of love. And so we feel that y'all going it's just gonna be good energy and vibes all weekend. But then if you look at the rosters, coach, it's going to be high level basketball also. And it's been high level basketball, but I think every team that played last year that's back this year upgraded their roster. Like, and on paper now they still got to go play. But on paper, everybody has you got to get Mike his own reality show. He's a walking punchline. Like, he just them one liners. He just keep playing them out. But yeah, man. So y'all come, and we you can get tickets at polkhoops.com, www.polkhoops.com. It'll take you to the Eventbrite link. Will be tickets sold at the door, but if you want to get them in advance, please feel free to do so. Our plan is to have one door for like general spectator admission, and then the other door for like the teams. And then once you'll get your band or whatever that'll get you there for the whole weekend. So if you are on a team, or you're in the showcase, or you're a coach, then we gonna get you. That's our plan, to get you the wristbands they give you, that you just got to keep on. Now you knock it off, then you kind of on your own. So Tuma is taking care of that with his team, but we just look forward to just a good time. And like I say, get to have the alumni come back and represent and show your pride for your high school, which is the whole thing that we started Polk Hoops about anyway. Then you get the young kids, the babies, to come in, so you can see what your school is doing now, who's up next, type deal. And this year they are wearing their own high school jerseys, whether it's a practice jersey, whether it's a game, however the coach feel like. But a lot of people in the stands was like, they didn't know what school the kids went to last year, and they want to know who the kids were. So this year we're not doing the T-shirts that we normally do. They're just going to wear their own jerseys, so you can know what kid is from what school, especially if you're looking for anybody from your school you graduated from. So that's totally from, the feedback we got from last year. So we always try to make this, because it ain't about us. It ain't about Billy D, Tuma, or Coach Barnes. It's all about the kids, and all about just the whole energy in the community. And just like I say, Friday 4:00, we get started. So please make sure you pull up, tap in, hang out, and just come have a good time, man. So we're real excited about it. It is 2 halves, but it is some kind of different rules to it. And we'll have it'll be a DJ there, so we'll kind of talk you through it. So sometimes I know some people's wondering, okay, well, why they doing this and why they doing that? We'll post the rules again, so you can kind of see what we're going off of. And at the end of the day, man, y'all just come and just enjoy yourself. And that will be our alumni tournament, 3rd annual family reunion, as we continue to just try to, spotlight Polk County basketball, not just current basketball, but, sometimes the kids got to know the pride of their program. I don't think they always really get that. So alumni tournament, you can see, oh, such and such used to do this. This is why they so crazy about Winter Haven basketball or Kathleen, because it's people that was doing this, before you. So it's a point of pride, and those alumni want to come back, and that could be, coach, that could be a way to bridge that gap. They in there Saturday afternoon, they see a jitterbug from their school, and they may be out. It just has so many positive ways it can go. let's put this disclaimer out there. Polk Hoops does not, make sure I say it how they be saying it, condone any type of financial supplementary uh, transactions that may take place throughout the weekend. We do not have the ability to
Regulate.
monitor, to regulate or monitor. Um, so if that stuff is or is not happening, it is not condoned or
Associated with Poku.
associated with that. It is associated with Polk Hoops. Anything Polk Hoops, Coach Washington, Coach Toomer, or Coach Barnes.
Man, we're gonna have a good time, man. That's what it's really about. And Barnes, you just brought up something and that's probably something that teams probably need to maybe think about, bringing their team and having those people talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Let them know how it was back then and what pride and went on back then. It may be a way to connect that bridge. So
And we also know that TNJ Network, for you all that support him and all he does a great job with producing a spotlight and showing. He does primarily football, but he does do some basketball too, and
yeah,
he will be there also for
again,
support.
they are approved. Blue Summers is approved. If you are looking to come in as a photographer or a videographer, you have to get approved by one of us three. So reach out to us. Again, there's no outside vendors as far as food or anything like that. But anybody else, it got to be approved by us.
Yeah. Cause this, at the end of the day, y'all, we once again, this is pretty much our love. So, and obviously, we could say, come sell your food and all that kind of stuff. But then that's gonna take away from the babies. We know that the babies is y'all know they go on fundraisers. Y'all know they not fundraisers. They go on trips. They go to these competitions. Y'all see all the stuff that they do. So and once again, because people start counting money, coach. When they see money being made, they start counting it. This is the third year we've done this, and the next dollar that we get out of the concession stand will be the first dollar we got at the concession stand. We ain't took nothing from the concession stand since we've done this, and we're not gonna take anything because that 100% goes to them. So when y'all are giving that money to those girls that's in those concession stands, buying them fries and them nachos and stuff, just know that all of that money goes to them. We don't get any of it on purpose. And the same thing as far as photography. We got TNJ Network, we got Blue Summers, and so we're not saying no to anybody else. We just, we they have been who we've dealt with. And so if you're trying to do something, just reach out, man. That's all we say. Just reach out. And we ain't no bears. We ain't no, we ain't no bad guys, and we all here trying to do the same thing. If you trying to support kids and support Polk County basketball and having a good time and being in good vibe, then we're gonna be very easy to get along with. But if you on some other stuff, then we can't really rock with you on that, because that ain't what we about. That ain't what we stand on. So um I guess that's it, coach. So Friday in a couple of days, we will see a lot of y'all. We'll see a lot of y'all. And big bro, Bo Pete, Willie Hunter, thank you for allowing for loaning out TNJ Network. We know that he has an exclusive binding deal with the Lakeland Dreadnought football. So we appreciate y'all loaning them out for the weekend. We know that's and TNJ, we appreciate you. Um, I mean, I know KJ. KJ came through the fire, so if he, that's fine. If he coming to do work, Coach Blicker, we ain't no problem with that. That ain't no problem at all. KJ got good credit. Him and his people, him and his family, they good people. That ain't no problem. That's on him if he want to come through or not, though. Just let us know, because we're gonna have we're gonna have a little pass list too. So some of these people we put on the pass list. So if you are coming through, just make sure you let us know, KJ. That's fine. If you ain't, that's fine. But just either way, I know Little League football done picked up, so it's a lot more
Well, that's
activity going on.
crazy. So how they start before NFL do?
So they don't even stop, coach. And they like 2-3 weeks in. This ain't the first weekend. This like the second or third weekend. I've seen people going live at these 8 years out there running around playing. So, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Bo Pete say I'm little bro, you big bro. So he giving us permission, so we appreciate it. Okay, I got you, KJ. I add you to the list, no problem. You know it's all love, boss. We appreciate it. We see what you're doing, man. Say again now?
So I was telling Huntley pull up bonus with the Harley.
Yeah. Happy anniversary, man. I know we about to jump off, man, but I saw you celebrating that anniversary. So that's family. So you always gotta when you see family, you always want to make sure you come through. But I know that I know Little League is going on, so it's a lot of other stuff going on.
Yeah, for sure.
So all right, man. Well, that's all we got. Good show today, man. Real good show. Appreciate the feedback and y'all rocking with us in the chat. Very, very good topic, especially that transfer portal. We just got to keep doing it the right way, and hopefully they'll stay. Like I say, I'm very biased. I want all our kids to stay, but I understand sometimes the opportunity presents itself. And, Victory, they wish Q well. Santa Fe wishes Ethan well. Like Gibson wishes Adarian well, but we just wish they would just stay. But we understand that, situations happen and things happen, and you got to do what you feel is best. So we wish them the best. We wish them the best, and we'll still follow them. We don't stop bothering with them. Just because they decided to go to a different school. We just want them to stay with us. And that's just our selfish. That's purely selfish. We want them to stay in Polk County, and we don't always feel that way. So, all right, man, that's all we got for this week, man, this show. Thank y'all for tapping in, supporting us. Hopefully you'll come to the alumni tournament, Bartow High School. First game is Friday, 4 p.m., Tenor Rock. First time in the tournament takes on Fort Meade, 2 first-time teams. And then we got 4 of the games after that. And then we're in there all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Whether you come and go, come and stay, come just see your team play, come and see the babies play for the high school showcase, just come. Come buy a hot dog from TBS, get them some money so they can get to where they're trying to go to. Mm-hmm. And we just appreciate y'all in advance, man. So till next time, in absence of coach to the PG, All-State PG, y'all be safe, man. Until next time, Polk Hoops, we out. Thank y'all for rocking with us. Hopefully we see y'all this weekend. All right, y'all be safe.